Taylor Sheridan's doing a Call of Duty movie. Yellowstone's Taylor Sheridan is doing a Call of Duty movie, namely with Peter Berg directing. Big video game movie news. What do you know about this, Andy?
I mean, Taylor Sheridan, we were talking last week during our Kevin Costner hit piece that Taylor Sheridan is king of Hollywood now. It's interesting how the power has kind of shifted to the content creators, the writers in this case. But Taylor Sheridan is leaving Paramount, but going to NBC Universal. That was the big shocker over the weekend. But he's still going to be staying on for the Call of Duty movie at Paramount. So he's just kind of getting everything. He also has a lucrative TV deal in 2028. He's going to go back to making some films. He was known for. We reviewed Hell or High Water, which is a great neo-Western. He also did Lone Survivor and Friday Night Lights, and those kinds of films. And so he knows this genre, but he's going to be writing the Call of Duty film. And we've talked about how video games are kind of they're what comic book films were a decade ago. It's the hot property that the kids are going to see. Call of Duty's been the best-selling video game for like 15 years, or one of the best. I don't know the story. There's a lot of different characters and stories. I mean, it's mostly just about shoot 'em up. So I don't know what kind of story they're going to develop, but they're doing it.
I can weigh in on that a little bit, actually. Call of Duty has been running for a really long time, and there's a few different kind of storylines in the franchise, but kind of the main, most successful one comes from the Modern Warfare series. It started way back in 2004 or something at first. I think the first 2008, maybe the first Modern Warfare game came out. 2006, somewhere in there. Since then, there have been remakes and variations and expansions, but this kind of core crew in that game, led by this kind of Scottish captain named Captain Price, who fights for the good guys, of course, this goofy hat and a big mustache. He's in there. There's a couple other characters that are kind of recurring. There's one guy named Ghost who wears this mask with like a skull on it. There's a character named Soap McTavish who you play in the first game. I would bet almost anything, based on what we know of adaptation and where Hollywood likes to spend their dollars, they're going to go with that. It's the most successful kind of storyline that they've built on in the Call of Duty games. It would be a layup. I rattled off a tweet earlier this week saying they should fan cast Gerard Butler as Captain Price. He's kind of got the accent. He's older. I think it'd work great. There's a bunch of people that were like, no, they should do this person. Or, yeah, that's a good pick. Lots of angles. And also Peter Berg directing is a great pick. Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, Friday Night Lights. He collaborated with Taylor Sheridan previously on Hell or High Water, like you mentioned. So, seems like a winning combo. They are going to throw so much money at this thing, dude. Call of Duty is the biggest first-person shooter franchise in existence. This thing is going to be a really big deal. So, yeah. And like you said, one of many, I think, video game projects coming down the pike. We got an Elden Ring movie they're working on. Nintendo's doing Mario and Zelda. It's the age of video game cinema is nigh upon us, it seems and this is just a step towards that.
What's interesting is I heard a comparison that 10, 15 years ago, this is what the Halo movie was. Forever, the Halo movie was to be Peter Jackson. It was going to be this director, is that, and it just never happened.
Yeah.
Which is real tragic. But this has kind of happened with the Call of Duty movie as well. It's kind of been bouncing around, and it's finally landed at home, and also the right time in the kind of the genre, the films that are successful and that Hollywood's going to invest in now. So it'll be interesting to see. It's probably a couple years away.
Yeah, and fitting, you mentioned the Halo project. That was supposed to be a Paramount picture for a really long time. They ended up turning it into a television series, got a couple seasons out of it. And then they ported it over to Netflix, where it's kind of it's dead. They're not making any more of it, but it's doing really big numbers over there. Netflix, I think they had talked about doing a BioShock movie for years. Gears of War was supposed to get a movie adaptation. All of these popular video game franchises that people who listen to this show probably never heard of, have been kind of kicked around by Hollywood, but no one's ever taken the plunge. But following the success of Mario, man, it just seems like the floodgates are open. We're just going to do it, right? We're going to make as much video game stuff as we can. So keep it here on Off Script. We got some news about Godzilla. Yeah, the new Godzilla movie from Toho Studios. If you're a Godzilla fan, then you know very well about Godzilla -1. It's incredible success. What was it, just last year that movie came out? Now people are looking forward to what's next. We have some details. What do we know about new Godzilla?
Well, yesterday, November 3rd, was International Godzilla Day, and so this is when this announcement came out. But the sequel to Godzilla minus one is going to be creatively called Godzilla minus zero, which you might have thought the numbers were going the opposite way. But in case you don't know or don't remember, it was called Godzilla minus one because in the teaser it explained after the nuclear bombs were dropped on Japan, Japan had lost everything. They were from zero to minus, and so this insinuates a coming back, rebuilding, but maybe of the monster itself. The people pointed out the logo is slightly different, and the first logo is clearly Godzilla, so maybe this is something else, some sort of different villain. So that's going to be exciting. They're aiming for a late 2026 release, probably around Christmas. Probably going to be bigger in scale, budget, scope, all that. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, Godzilla minus one was an unexpected success. Obviously, there's a few decades, more than a few decades, of Godzilla films coming out of Japan, all of which have a unique response to nuclear fallout and like kind of the result of World War II and bombs being dropped on Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And Godzilla is kind of like uniquely placed as this large like monster of pop culture that is kind of a direct response to that, right? He's like created by radiation. He rains devastation down on cities. Like he is seemingly immutable in regards to politics. He does not care. He's just this kind of wanton creature of destruction. And Godzilla minus one took the franchise in a new kind of different direction by going backwards, right? It's a period piece, and it's kind of set right after the war about this young fighter pilot who's come back home and didn't survived the war unexpectedly, and he was meant to die. And that's when we stumble into Godzilla, and Godzilla arrives and makes landfall. We covered it on the show. A really good time if you never ended up seeing it, and it's a big part of the reason why people are looking forward to what's happening in this next installment, because yeah, that kind of picks up at least similarly in universe vein. We're not going to be like far-flung future or anything crazy. I think we're going to be kind of following that film. Don't know if we'll have the same characters. Pretty mum on details. But even still, it's good a lot of that creative talent is coming back, because that was I think a much-needed boon for the Godzilla franchise. Why not, right? Like, why not get more people in? Actually did pretty well here, too, in the United States, if I remember correctly. Like, that movie was doing numbers. They put out a black and white edition. And I know we covered it on the pod, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can roll back and see our reviews of that on the channel. I've run out of things to say about Godzilla.
Academy Award-winning film.
Did it really? What did it win the Academy Award for?
Best visual effects.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, and on a shoestring budget, too. They're running it lean over there. Another story real quick. Netflix might be buying Warner Brothers, or at least is thinking about buying Warner Brothers. This is a story out of Deadline. Last week we mentioned that Warner Brothers' historic studio has put itself up for sale. They're hoping somebody will buy them. It's up in the air who's going to do it, but Netflix might take the plunge. What do you know about it?
So this has been in the works for a couple of years. We knew that Warner Brothers was wanting to move towards acquisition. They split the company into they kind of split the traditional TV and sports stuff into one company, and the streaming and studio business into another one, and that's what they're trying to sell, and that's the big buy. That's what everyone wants. We saw that Paramount had made 2, possibly 3 bids for Warner Brothers, which have all been soundly rejected. The scuttlebutt is that Netflix is also maybe looking into, which would be wild and would take us down from 5 major studios to 4. I think that's correct. Disney, Sony, Universal, Paramount, basically at that point. But it does look like they're pretty serious, because it was Warner Brothers themselves who have allowed this finance company to come in and appraise them, get a look at their books, and see what kind of valuation there actually is. But it's going to be crazy. But they do look like they're seriously looking to be bought, and it's just going to be fewer studios moving closer towards a content monopoly, which is kind of scary. I hope it's not Netflix, at least, because Netflix does not believe in theaters, and they will make everything for straight to TV. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Dude, I don't know who the winners are in the Warner Brothers buyout. Like, because I don't want Paramount Skydance to take them, right? Like, please don't let Paramount get a hold of these people. Like, Warner Brothers is likely, for many like cinema fans out there, kind of the golden goose of properties right now, like between what they're doing with A24 and their partnerships with Criterion and Turner Classic Movies, which they own, like between like the shows they offer on HBO and their staggering content library of just like banger after banger after banger after banger. The HBO Sunday slate is like coveted, right? Among streamers, like everybody wishes they could be HBO, and everybody that isn't HBO is angling to work alongside them, it seems. Anybody with success. So like I don't want Netflix to buy them because Netflix won't put stuff in theaters, and I don't want Paramount to buy them because Paramount just seems to be on this huge spending spree, and it doesn't seem to be working out very well for them. And I don't think it's worth putting them over there. So I don't know. Who would you want to get Warner Brothers? Like if you could have your way, who buys them, do you think?
I would rather it be one of the big traditional studios, Universal, Disney, Paramount in this case seems to be the closest one, only because the legacy studios still believe in the theatrical model. Yes, they all have streaming services as well, but at least they believe in the big screen, whereas Netflix absolutely does not. They want to see the end of theaters. They would like for people to never go to theaters again. They're anticipating that we won't have theaters in 20 years. They're always saying that. So I don't think Netflix is the way to go. Imagine all your DC properties, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, all those things just being on Netflix, and new properties being invested on at the Netflix rate and look and feel and all that. I just don't think that's good for the industry.
Yeah, I guess if I had to say one, if I had to pick, like just if I could have my way, I'd snap my fingers. They got to get bought. Somebody's got to take them. I guess I'd rather be independent, but if I couldn't, I guess Universal. I like what Universal's doing. I think Universal's got a lot of good ideas. They got a really cool talent pool over there. They're signing a lot of cool deals with companies like or directors like Nolan, Daniels, Jordan Peele is doing his projects over there, right? They're trying to get Zach Kreger over from Weapons. Like Universal's signing some cool deals. I guess I would want them to do it, but like, man, competition's good, and it bums me out that Warner Brothers is like somebody else drive for a while. You know, it's a bummer. We got to talk about the box office real quick before we move into Begonia. October was bad. October was real bad for the box office. Give your movie friends a hug, all right? Because October wasn't good. And it's a shame because it seemed like a really adventurous month, but people have just not turned out. What's going on?
Box Office Massacre is the title of this article from the Hollywood Reporter. Revenue falls to 27-year low, the lowest in nearly 30 years, excluding the pandemic month of October when there were no movies and people weren't going. It's been bad. It's been real bad, and there's a number of reasons. It's a lack of product. We usually have a couple of bigger, like either superhero stuff or just something big. And the big movie was Tron Ares, and it was a bomb. And that was the biggest thing. Last year, Venom: Save the Last Dance was the big hit, and those Venom films have done very well. Things like Joker also came out in October in the past, but there was just nothing. The two big releases was Dwayne Johnson's The Smashing Machine and, of course, Tron Ares, and both bombed hugely. The indie didn't catch on. Tron Ares didn't catch on either, and the rest has just not been a whole lot to choose from. Some smaller releases like Black Phone 2, but yeah, just a huge lack of product, and people just aren't going to the movies as much.
It is really funny that looking at the numbers, a notable reason that we got to where we did get in October for the meager earnings that are here is because of Taylor Swift's movie, the official release party of A Showgirl, which wasn't
That's
a movie.
Right.
Yeah, it was like a cinematic event, right? It was a music video and then a bunch of behind the scenes stuff for like 70 minutes or something. But that came out at the beginning of October, made almost $35 million from the October 3rd to 5th weekend. So that's notable. Also, God, we kept talking about on this show, dude, like anime movies, Chainsaw Man, right? Demon Slayer pulled money, I think the month before. Like those have been a big deal. Otherwise, like, man, the Bruce Springsteen biopic Delivery from Nowhere was a big bust. Smashing Machine was a bust. Black Phone 2 is doing fine. Mason Thames has another rom-com out, Regretting You, also from Paramount, which I think is just doing okay. Notably, Mortal Kombat 2 was supposed to come out from Warner Brothers this month, but it got pushed back to May. And there's been some other stuff that's been getting pushed around too. Somebody just asked me the other day when Project Hail Mary's coming out, and I was like, oh, that got pushed. like that. Things have been moved around a little bit, but yeah, just a real slow Halloween season. Really a bummer. And Halloween was on a Friday, for God's sake. Like you'd think. You'd think these studios would put out something on a Friday, but I don't know. I think people were just hanging out for the weekend.
People were out. Also, the World Series was over the weekend. I don't know how much that affects it, but that could also be a cause. So real rough. Let's get into some numbers. The winner over the weekend was Black Phone 2 at 8.3 million. It's made over 100 million worldwide, so that's a big hit for Blumhouse, who needed a win this year, and they were neck and neck with Regretting You, which is the Colleen Hoover adaptation, which is at 8.1 million, 50 million worldwide. That's doing well for the size of movie. Colleen Hoover continues to print money. At number 3 is Chainsaw Man, the movie Reze Arc. That's made 6 million over the weekend, but 140 million worldwide. That's a big hit. That's been out for a few weeks as well in Japan. It only recently was released here. Bugonia, which we're going to be talking about briefly in just a second, 4.8 million, 11 million worldwide, about what we expected for an indie. And then rounding out the top 5 was the Back to the Future 40th annual re-release at 4.7 million. Like, new films can't compete with the classics. It's bad. It's real bad, but that's what the box office has been doing this weekend.
Dude, I'm a big Back to the Future fan. Like I love those movies. I got a couple of the posters. Like I really go for those flicks. And like I bought the DVD set years ago, and I was good. I don't even have it on Blu-ray, right? And like now, just the other day, I saw they got like the Back to the Future 4K collection. It's like $150. It comes with like a flux capacitor and like a fake license, like everything, right? And I'm thinking, like, who the hell is buying this stuff? Like, who really cares? And then it makes $5 million in theaters. Come on, dude. Like, I went and saw Begonia last night. I caught a late show, and they had a couple of Back to the Future screenings. There were people milling about. There were people going in and out of the Back to the Future screenings. So, glad people still like it. Stunned that people are still paying for it. Like, I feel like I've burned the brakes off those movies. Anyway, yeah. Just a slow Halloween weekend. Do you think things are going to pick up going into the holidays here? I mean, typically the holidays are a pretty good season, but like, do you think this is a bellwether of maybe a slow end to 2025?
I mean, I think it's been a bit of a down year in general. Even the summer was lighter than it normally was, even the last 2 years. I think November will be better. There's a lot more things coming out to look forward to. We have The Running Man, Wicked for Good, Zootopia 2, a bunch of small indies are also coming out. Jay Kelly, Christie, Knives Out 3, Wake Up Dead Man. So I think there's way better product and better selection this month, and then October was just real light. And we were wondering, like, why are all the horror? Why have you not released? There's like 3 horror movies coming out in November. I was like, why weren't these released a month ago during spooky season?
Yeah, how strange. Really pulling for, God, I just saw the trailer for Running Man again last night. God, I hope that movie's good. I watched Hot Fuzz not long ago, and it's like, I see a little bit of that Edgar Wright action in there. I would love for this to be a banger, but we'll see. With that, we should move into our first film of the episode. Andy's going to be taking the summary on this one, so I will get out of his way. Andy, please take it away.
Bugonia